Hello there. How's it going? Matt from Foul Ball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm going to be continuing my ongoing coverage of every single episode of every season of The Expanse. We're on season 2, episode 2 this evening. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you guys are all caught up because I do talk spoilers about everything that the show has put out so far. I don't talk anything from the books. I've heard some things. I've only read a few of the books. I don't know all the lore. I don't know all the story. So don't worry about those kinds of spoilers. I'm never going to talk about anything I've heard or know about those. But anything that has come out in the show, anything at all, I'm going to be talking about. So if that doesn't interest you, then I do recommend coming back after you've seen all the episodes because I am not good. I talk about it all. I like talking about it. And I know you guys like listening to it because it's, let's face it, it's the best show ever made, right? I mean, that's why I'm here. I love it so very much. So thank you guys very much for joining me. Before I get started tonight, I have to cordially ask you if you could smash the like button on this video and double smash. No, don't double smash, but smash twice as hard the subscribe button to see all the content coming out on Foul Ball Productions. I did a stream with Lindsay last night where we talked about Castlevania and Howl's Moving Castle, which was pretty fun. And then I do a show with my friend Jared, who's a filmmaker. We're both film nerds, so we just geek out about that type of stuff, and that's great. It's really fun. Then I try to put out like little content. Today I talked about the new Spider-Man casting where we got Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back to the MCU. Kind of interesting news. So stuff like that. So subscribe to see all the content that I produce, that we make here. I'm in my kitchen, basically. That I make in this house. It's amazing. It's such good content. So, yes, if you would be so kind. Now we can get started with this week's episode, Season 2, Ep 2, Doors and Corners, which I love. I love Doors and Corners, kid. That's where they get you. Doors and Corners, kid. Oh. Wait a second.
Oh, geez, it was all ahead of where it was supposed to be.
So they're recapping the Phoebe explosion or the Phoebe destruction by Mars, which I'm trying to remember if that had something to do with the fact that Mars and Earth, like members on both planets, were collaborating to make sure that the protomolecule could be enhanced. I don't quite remember. I think that's revealed later. It's one of those details that's kind of, excuse me, that's kind of, fuzzy and hazy in the whole. There's just so much plot and so much story in these unbelievably well-written shows. But I'm pretty sure it had something to do with it. It was definitely like a play, like a power play so that Earth couldn't get to Phoebe first, whatever that was there, which is pretty cool. I like that kind of a move. And I love that Sadavir Ehrenreich is such a sneak. What a bad guy he is. He's just sitting there pretending like he doesn't know anything, helping the defense of Earth, the whole nine. Meanwhile, he's working with a Earth citizen to do all these nefarious things behind the scenes.
You are not a nice man, Sadavir. No, sir. You should behave yourself and be polite. Be polite.
I love the politics in this show. I think the politics are really interesting. Some shows and movies like The Politics can really drag a show down, can really be like, okay. It's like, it's not as good as, the rest of the story. But here, I always find it very intriguing. I find it very taut, very compelling, because it feels like what real politics is like, where there's a lot of like unspoken, like there's subtext in all these conversations, no one's outwardly saying what they think for the most part, unless you're Avasarala. She says what she thinks all the time. But it's kind of like it's like chess, right? You're playing like a high level game. You're moving the pawn here, and then are you moving the pawn? You got a queen in your back pocket, like all this stuff. I find that pretty interesting. And it feels very authentic in this show.
I appreciate that very, very much.
I love the opening credit sequence. It just gets me so excited. The music. I can't really play this because they'll cancel. They'll shut the stream down, but I just love it. It just gets me going every single time. You know, and like all the visuals combined with that music, it's just so, it just takes me there every single episode. I'm just transported right into the world of The Expanse. I've never felt this way about a show before. I don't think I've ever watched anything that I love is quite this way, this specifically. There's things that I have adored and rewatched and loved and talked about, but I don't know quite like this. It's just so up my alley. It's just like the guys who made it. God damn fucking fruit flies.
Pardon my French.
So the guys who make it, it's like we have the exact same sensibilities. I mean, whenever they do the action sequences, I'm like, oh yes, that's what I like. More of that, please. This is a cool. So they're on. They've made it to Tycho. The crew of the Rossi is just getting to Tycho right now. And man, Tycho I find to be breathtaking. It's such a vast station. You know, I think they do a good job for the most part of conveying scale of the ships in the show. You know, you feel like the stations and so on and so forth. Like, excuse me,
Had some tacos before. I guess they're coming back up.
You feel like you have a pretty good idea like how big Tycho is versus how big Eros is, how big the Rossi is. Like I think that they do a good job of that. And then the scale, I find like when they're using the exteriors, you know, when they're doing the grand space stuff, I think it works really well. Like I think like a glory. Oh, my favorite badass belter has made her appearance. Kara G, who plays drummer. What is her? Oh, she doesn't have a name yet in this episode. It just says Colonel Johnson, second in command. I don't think she's got a name yet. But she is the best. I'll just say it. She's my favorite thing on the show. Favorite actor. She is working on such a high level. Not to say that the rest of the cast isn't, but she owns her character so well. And she just has such distinct mannerisms and her character. Like, it's just such a rich, thorough character and such a badass. And like, when she conveys so much. Oh, I love Kara G. Kara G as drummer is aces in my book. Aces. I adore her. There's lots of people I like on this show, but she is the best. And I think she really gets going in season 3. She's in season 2, and she's utilized, but in season 3, she is a rock star. I love her in season 3. She's just becomes such a badass, and she's just so on point, man. She's the greatest. She is the greatest. She was really cute in the interview too, in the panel that they did for New York Comic Con the other day. She was great. She just seems like a nice person, you know. I don't know. I go on about Kara G all day.
Well, I'll get back to the show that I'm doing.
But yeah, she's here, and that excites me. So I think right here, Miller is trying to convince. I think that no, is this where they were doing it? No, not yet. Wait, was it? Oh no, I know that eventually they're going to that station to go find. Yeah. Right, that's right. Okay, so they're trying to convince Fred Johnson to help them take the space station where all the scientists from Protogen are hiding out. Where they're, I guess, like, you know, whatever
nefarious deeds they're up to. That's where they're doing them.
It's a great sequence. Does it all happen in this episode? I guess so. It's called Doors and Corners. That's packing a lot into one episode. I got to be honest. I like that. I like it. So this is cool shot. This little twisting camera coming down, and now you're getting like a feel of a different station. Now we're on Tycho instead of series or eras, which they're all very distinctly different. This one's much more slick, lots of archways, more modern kind of newly built stuff. It looks good. It looks really good. It's a very well-designed show. I mean, the production design is exceptional. There are so many extras in this shot. There are so many extras in this shot right now. It looks like there's 100 or more on this set. Big camera movements, and these sets look super built out. I don't know if it's all green screen and they just like put all computer-generated sets on the background. I don't know, but it's so convincing that either one is acceptable because it looks good. But my point is just, my God, this show must be so expensive. It looks expensive. Maybe that's why Sci-Fi got rid of it. Maybe they just couldn't justify the cost anymore. Maybe they're like, look, we love the show. The fan response is great, but it costs way too much and we're just not getting the viewers. Because I never even heard about this show when it was out. Like Sci-Fi, I don't think I would have given it a chance knowing that. I didn't give it a chance till I saw it streaming on Amazon. And even then I needed a nudge. I don't remember it being marketed. I guess the fans just found it and kept it alive. Well, bravo to you fans. Bravo to you fans that loved it from the beginning and kept it alive. It's really badass. One of my subscribers, I was talking to her the other day, Belinda. Shout out to you, Belinda. She was saying she's been a fan since the beginning, since it was season 1. She would like sleuth out all these details and information to know about it. I mean, the fans of this show are dedicated fans. And I totally get it, like 100%. I'm the same way. I'm like a total. I learned about this show like early last year, I think. I mean, I'm obsessed. You know, I'm a nerd now. Like I'm like crazy about it. I got T-shirts. I got games. I got books, and I want more. You know, I'm like this close to like buying like a model. I think if they had like Expanse Legos, I'd probably buy one. It's just such a fun. It's just everything I like in media. Everything I like. Science fiction, space, good writing, good acting, all these space battles, this intriguing story, aliens, the whole thing. I mean, it's like a show tailored for me. I adore it. I adore it. And it still blows my mind that it's not that well loved, or not say it's not it's not that widely loved. I can't. I don't know, but we love it. We're going to watch it all. Going to watch it every single episode multiple times. I know I do. I don't know how I'll act if I ever meet any of these actors on this show. I might freak out a little bit. I might geek out. I've gotten pretty good at not geeking out when it comes to meeting like actors or celebrities, stuff like that. I've gotten pretty cool with it. Some you still get a little anxious, but for the most part, I can handle it. But if I saw anyone from this show, I don't know. I'd probably just be beaming like, hi, how are you? I love you. Oh. So Naomi and Holden are having a little discussion in about Amos, right? This is the arc where Holden doesn't trust Amos because Amos is a little bit of a loose cannon. Now, I don't remember this being so pronounced in the book, but I only listened to the audiobook one time. But I don't remember this conflict being so pronounced between Amos and Holden. But there's a few things I noticed that they do that they just introduced just for the show's sake to kind of create some sort of television drama. I don't think any of those choices have been bad. I'm just saying I don't remember this from the book. I like it. I mean, I guess it works. It kind of does feel like one of those conflicts though that like eventually it's going to be resolved. So it's just kind of like a like a false just a false detour that you're like, all right, let's just get to it. We know they're going to be friends, so let's just get to that. There's one or two things like that on this show that I'm kind of like, all right, I mean, I know where you're going, so let's just get to that point, but you have to kind of go around it for the sake of the show, for the sake of the drama, for the sake of authenticity. This is a great sequence. Fred Johnson is total pacifist, right? Totally nice guy, has best intentions, really cares about the belt, respects Earth, just doesn't want to be on their side. And then he's right now he's recruiting the drop teams to go to the station to go, capture protogen and do whatever they're doing with the protomolecule, right? So he's rallying all these belters to his cause. And this one guy, this big guy, stands up and challenges him and starts talking shit. And he's saying how he's going to do this. And then Fred Johnson just knocks him out and throws him out the airlock like that. Not a second thought. No threat, no hesitation. And the guy is bigger than him. It was so shocking. Like, you just did not expect that outcome. I did not expect that outcome. Yeah, he sees the gun on his back. That was pretty cool. I mean, you forget he's a colonel, right? He's a colonel in the military, and he's a combat colonel, so he probably has like lots of experience. Yeah, he just grabs his hand, smashes it against the side, opens the airlock, picks up the big guy, and throws him in there. The guy doesn't give him a whole lot of resistance, and then opens the airlock and just sends him to his death. Dude, belters don't fucking play, man. They don't fucking play. And what a clean way to murder someone. Just throw him out the airlock. No evidence, no body, just gone. That will be interesting in the future, I think, because, we are moving towards the stars. Elon Musk is working on it. It's happening. We're trying to get moon bases and people on Mars, civilizations off of Earth. I mean, people are really trying to make it happen. And, people are people. There's still going to be murder. Still going to be murder eventually, in the future. In the future. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe that'll be a thing. That's an interesting idea to explore. I think anyone who writes science fiction, that's something I haven't really heard much of in the future. In literature. I like that. That's an interesting idea to explore. I'm going to hold on to that thought. So this is a really cool sequence. So out of nowhere, they just show the Rossi taking on this station. And you're just like, whoa, what's going on? And it was a simulation for Alex, which is cool. I like the way that they run this sim. And there's a great scene later on. I think it's later on this season, right? Where when they get back to Tycho and all the girls are into the guys and Alex is getting these chicks and I guess the girl's boyfriend comes over and starts getting into it with Alex and he gets attacked and then Amos just comes and just pummels the shit out of him, right? And Alex is like, I didn't need you to take care of me. And Alex and Amos kind of have a little argument about it. He's like, yeah, you're upset that I defended you, and he's like, Amos is trying to say that hey, I did it because I protect people. That's what I do. And he's like, I let 25 belters die to keep you alive. I fight my own battles. I'm a big boy, Amos. So I was like, that was so cool. It was such a cool response to that challenge. It's like, yeah, man, I got it. I'm a man. I don't need you to protect me. That's fucking cool. It's all the writing, it's all the nuance, it's all how well considered all these characters are that I think it never fails me thus far. Has never failed me. And I love that about this show, It's not much more than just a little more consideration, a little more time, but it's amazing how few shows I think really have that much consideration, that much care, that much thought for all their characters. This seems exceedingly rare to me. It's interesting this episode too because it's some great action later on, but beginning there's just a lot of talking, a lot of just kind of drama being moved by people, just kind of having conversations. But I think that's a strength of this show. The Expanse, I feel like when they have action sequences, it feels like pretty frequently, but not excessively. It's common, but it's not excessive. But I feel like every single one that happens, you are really into. You're enthralled by. Like they're compelling, they're badass. It's like they're trying new weapons and things. Whereas I started watching this show right around the same time as The Witcher came out last year. Maybe like, I finished this show, then The Witcher came out, and I started watching that. And I felt like the problem with The Witcher was it was like obligatory to have action sequences. And then they just kind of became bland. You didn't really care because there really wasn't a lot of stakes attached to each action sequence. It was just, oh, we're supposed to have an action sequence, so we will, which is, that's not, then it just becomes noise, it's just like, all right, well, it's like, this is the sequence where they fight because they're supposed to. Like, that's so boring, especially because the way they introduced the fighting in the first episode with The Witcher, it was so badass. When the way he cuts through all those guys, it was so cool. He uses Witcher powers. That was great. But after a while it got dull. I've never felt that way about The Expanse. Not one time. I've never felt like any of these action sequences, I'm like, all right, well, I guess we just got to sit through this like once. It's like, no, all the action sequences are story. And there's a very big reason, trying to get them. There's a very big reason why each sequence happens, and there's really high stakes associated with the outcome of each moment, of each sequence. It matters, and people die, and the good guys get hurt, and things get lost, and mistakes get made. It really matters, and that's what good action is. It's not just that it's action. It's not that it's like, oh, explodies. It's like explodies that matter. Gunfights that matter, that have stakes, that have, consequences. And you understand the players involved and why they're doing it, That's good writing. That's good story. And The Expanse has that in spades. I hope it doesn't get boring that I praise The Expanse all the time, because I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to try to be specific about my praise, though. I don't want to just babble. I just can't help it, though. You know what? When you suck, I'll let you know. I haven't seen it happen.
Doesn't suck for me, yo. I love it. I love it up and down. Love it to pieces, I do.
This was a cool sequence. So Avasarala and Admiral Souther have their moment at the bar. And he doesn't like her, hates her. But he knows that her heart is in the right place, or at least that her intentions are to save Earth. And I dig that. And so even while he doesn't like her, he agrees to meet with her, and they share a drink, and it's like he does it like out of obligation for someone that does care for Earth, and kind of gives her information about how Fred Johnson really isn't the terrorist, isn't really a bad guy, this, that, and the other. And that kind of plays out later, which I think is really cool. And then see the layers on this show, it never stops. While they have this conversation, then the spy comes out from the back, and there was a whole other thing going on, and she was like listening. It's so clever, so rich. I think richness can really only come from like lots of consideration, lots of time focused on your story, lots of multiple passes on your scripts. I think that's the only way it can. I don't know. I'm not a very experienced writer, but that's when I've gotten the best stuff has been multiple passes. So I imagine that these guys do the same. And this is a rarity. So whatever they do, most people don't. These guys are very unique writers. And man, it just looks so cool. It just looks so cool. All the sets, all the different like chunky switches and the screens that are kind of broken and dirty, but they do the job. Kind of like that, cyberpunk kind of thing. I love it. Oh, this is cool. So now they're going on the raid to that station, that Protogen station. but they all, they're wearing like Martian Marine gear because it's like a because it's like a battle. It's so cool. So they got Holden, Naomi, Amos, and Alex are on the Rossi. And then you've got Miller and all the Belters as the drop crew, which I dig. I don't know why. I mean, maybe it's just out of necessity, but Alex is wearing the Martian Marine uniform, which does look super cool, by the way. The costumes in this sometimes are super badass. I mean, they're always good, but sometimes they look really slick, and the Martian Marines look really slick. I love this detail. The Belter dropships that hit the station, the space station, have FedEx on the side. Federal Express in space. That's great. Drummer. Drummer, you are such a badass. She looks like she's about like 5'2", 100 pounds, and she's just like 100% gangster. I mean, talk about strong female characters. She is, I mean, one of the best examples. She's so cool. Like, you really want to get behind her. Like, you're like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like, you want to fight. Like, she's just inspires all this loyalty. Let you lose a bet. Stay away from the aqua. Then that gangster guy shows up on the drop ship. I love that. Hey, Stylix, what you doing here? You lose a bet? That guy is great. I like that. See, I like that character as like a throwaway character, right? But then he comes back and becomes a pretty significant part of the story eventually. That was a cool way to utilize that guy. You could have been someone else, but that was fun. That was smart. I love Kara G. Love you, boo. You're the best. Right. So I forgot. This is the so cool. This is the plan is to have whatever Belter ship, the Fred Johnson led one, right? They're gonna come approach the station, and then they're gonna send off the two drop ships and be like, oh, we lost gear. We're gonna go get it. And then they're gonna hopefully not figure it out in time while the Rossi comes, takes out the stealth ship. And then they got a rail, or like they call it a dumb gun. Amos, Holden. Hey, Holden, didn't the Navy tell you to stow your gear before you go into maneuvers? And he gets to grab his coffee cup that's just floating around. I love that. Didn't the Navy teach you to stow your gear before you go into maneuvers? Like, that feels like protocol, in a world that doesn't exist. Like, I love that. Man, that's amazing. Just little details. So now Miller and I forgot his name. What's his name? What's this character's name? Diogo. That's right. Miller and Diogo are kind of bonding. Like, oh, you're that guy I busted and let go. He's a great character too. I think he's a great allegory for how people can get radicalized, especially young people, because he's a Belter. He's got Belter pride and he cares. But then like Anderson Dawes ends up using him for, for bad things, for power and control. And, it's like he means well, he cares, but he's easily manipulated and misled and used by stronger powers than himself. And I think it's a good allegory. It's a good story for, that's just how it goes. Vulnerable people can get manipulated by powerful, charismatic, and influential leaders. And that Diogo's a guy. It's like a cool depiction of that. I think if anyone like kind of looks at this show and thinks it's like a one-to-one like parable about any kind of like righteous civil rights struggle, I think you're missing something, because it isn't quite Like the belts definitely victims, but they also respond pretty hostilely and aggressively and dangerously. So it's gray. You know what I mean? Like they're definitely in the right a lot, but how they go about it isn't right either. So it's cool how they do that. It's very clever. I like how they do that. Because it's like there's lots of gray, no black and white, which is smart. That's good writing. So here we go. The battle begins. Oh fuck yes, so badass. So the stealth ship shows itself on the far end of the on the far end of the station. They let go their the torpedoes. Those PDC miniguns just go to light up the torpedoes, which is so cool. Then they're going into close combat with the PDCs, ripping through the hull. It's so badass. Oh, it looks so cool. Oh, there's just like bullets whizzing through the hull, just putting holes in everything, and then they got to move. The gravity comes, all the charred remains fall, all the ash or whatever. Oh man, it's so exciting. So then they drop down into the ring to use the ring as cover, so between them and the stealth ship. So badass. So cool. So he's like maneuvering these giant girders and stuff. Get him, Alex. Get him, Flyboy. So now they turned, I guess they turned their drive signature off so they can't be tracked, I think. Yeah, now they're down a thruster, so it's really hard to maneuver. And they got to send Amos down to fix it. I can patch that. He's so cool. Amos is such a great character. Love you, Wes Chatham. You the man. Now they launched the breaching pods. So I guess those are just tea kettles. They just have thrusters. They call that because it's steam thrust. Pretty cool. Yeah, I guess that's pretty. Oh, God, just the set in here with this broken thruster just looks so cool. There's like some gyro thing, some like ball, like some gyroscope thing that I don't know, looks sciencey. Helps some science part of the ship. It's so dope. Uh-oh. Now they just spotted an anti-asteroid cannon on the space station. Oh man, I'm just getting caught up in the action here. So cool. So that so the Rossi tries to pull out to draw the stealth ship's attention so it doesn't blow up the breaching pods that are approaching now, right? But that's putting them in a vulnerable situation because they're down a thruster. So bouncing off things, Amos is getting thrown around. He's still got to fix the thruster. They need it. And then, oh boy. And this dumb gun that I guess just fires like big tank shells. I don't know. Just a big old cannon in space. There you go. Get it, Amos. So he's fixing that thruster. The stealth ship is stalking right around. Come on, Amos, get the thruster. Oh, they go to commercial. The ball's on you. So badass. There you go. He's fixing up the thruster. Here come the breaching pods. And then dunk. There goes that dumb gun. Just fires and boom! Blows the shit out of that breach pod. Oh, man. They just lost 25 belters in one go. And then Amos got the thruster back. Way to go. About to do a high G maneuver. Hold on, Amos. There we go. Get it. Oh, so cool. Amos is like banging around down in the guts of the Rossi, getting thrown around like crazy. Bing, bang, boom. They're doing a high G maneuver. Alex is whipping out over the ring of the space station. He's going to take out the dumb gun before it takes out the other breaching pod. Here they come. Woo! And they just light that gun up with the PDCs. Boom. And then, oh shit, surprise assholes. And he just tears up the hull of that stealth ship. Just lights it up, man. So badass. So badass. Ah, outstanding. Outstanding. Man, that's exciting stuff. Exciting stuff, man. I love it. I love it. I think I've heard some people criticize the special effects. And I guess if you really looked at them and you're trying to find reasons to like critique it, you could probably find it. But it's a TV show from like what 2016 or 2017, whatever, however old this show is, 2015. I mean, it looks pretty damn good to me. And they use it really well. They edit around it. They don't like hold on it like, ooh, look at the spectacle. I mean, sometimes they do, but when they do, it's the right thing to do. But I don't know. It never bothered me, not once, never. I love it. So now Miller is down in the actual space station, and Diogo got popped in the head. Poor Diogo. He's such a good little kid. Jesus, just got goo all over his head. Oh no, he's fine. Oh, he's okay. No worries. They're using gel rounds, which I guess is like riot suppression in the future. Invincible me. And boy, this Belter crew is stupid. They just go down. They just wipe the floor with these guys. They kill so many of them. Oh, the weapons. The weapons look so good. Those Martian bullpup rifles. So cool. They said, I guess like in the books, a lot of the rounds, like they're plastic so that they don't breach the hull, which is pretty cool. I love the sound though. They sound futuristic-y. Like little electronic sounds when they load in new magazines and turn it on and stuff. Love it. Yeah, so Miller just oh, that guy died. Oh, I just put that together now. So in the breaching pod that got blown up, one of the guys who they rescued off Eros, he was in it, and then he died. I never noticed that. I don't know. I've seen this show this many times. I've seen this, and I didn't know that. Didn't know that. Good detail. Good detail. Rest in peace, Beltalowda. Rest in peace. So this is the doors and corners moment where they're this was so interesting. So this is what I love about this show, especially with the first time you checked it out, right? When they come in and they're looking for all the people working on this crazy space station, and then you just find like 6 or 7 people tied to like this supercomputer, and they're all like just plugged into this thing, and they're like zombies. They're like zombies working on this thing. They're just completely lost in it, which is so cool. And he keeps trying to like wake them up and snap them out of it. And they're just doing like all this work. Like he literally bangs on their head and it doesn't take them out of it. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here? They're like, shit, man. And he's like trying to get him up. They won't get up. Looks really good too. Great set. All these cool, big, thick cables going into this central computer node. I mean, the production designers on this show must just have a ball. They must just have a blast. Everything just looks so good. It looks so much fun. Miller somehow knows how that central computer works, and he just disconnects it. They all like break, start screaming and attacking them, and then the fucking Belters just light them all up. Just kill them all. At the end, he's like, I need them alive, guys. And it's just like, you just killed everyone who knew anything. You fucking idiots. Like, all right, I mean, I guess we got our vengeance, but now we don't know anything. I love the way he talks to them. Everybody stay here. Nobody move. He might as well have said, you pack idiots. You bunch of dummies. Just sit here, shut up, don't do anything. Oh, yeah, this is when they find the head scientist guy, and he's in this big holographic computer room, which looks really good. Looks really cool. And this guy's motivation, who this guy is so interesting. I love it. I love that he's not even really a villain. Like, he does villainous things, but he doesn't think he's a villain. And Miller just cracks him on the fucking head. Doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit. I love it. And the guy's just like, what would it take to make you guys go away? Weapons, money, political favors, like literally anything you want. As long as we keep doing our work, I don't care. He's like, just whatever it is. Whatever it is. Because it's like these guys had, like, when he explains the situation to Holden and Miller, you're kind of like, oh man, maybe he's got a point. Like, you kind of think like, all right, it definitely wasn't right that you did all that to Eros, but there's definitely more to us than it appeared. They were infected to save us all. You're going to have to be a hell of a lot more specific than that. They made a discovery on Phoebe, an extrasolar life form. Aliens! Organism that can repurpose other life forms and use them to evolve. Into what? That's what we're trying to find out. I love that he explains it to them. This is our ticket. Oh, man. Oh, God. He makes so much sense. His argument makes so much sense. We can master it. We can apply it. It's like you're kind of like to everything. Become our own gods. It's like so fascinating. You're like, wait, you can do all that with the protomolecule? And you're like, all right, well, I definitely wanted to kill you. And this guy just no empathy whatsoever. He goes, he's just like, Eros was just surrounding her. It's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. We got much bigger things to worry about. It's like, okay, you're kind of a sociopath, though. You're not supposed to like actively throw people into experiments for the rest of us. It's a little dark. He's like, that's semantics. I love this. It's such a cool scene. And he's like explaining everything. And he's like, just let me do the work. I have to. There's so much more at stake. There's aliens. What are they doing? Why? We need to figure this out. We're naked without this information. He's like, just let me get back to my work. No restrictions. I need to just figure it out. And Fred Johnson's like, and Holden's sitting there like, right. Fred Johnson, we're going to need complete access to the data, as well as the names of everyone responsible for setting this in motion. And he goes, done. And then fucking Miller just blows his head off. No bullshit. Just blows his head off and then puts another 4 into him. Boom, boom. He wasn't fucking having it. He wasn't fucking having it. He's like, no, absolutely not. Whatever this guy's saying, we just need to just no. Gonna nip this one right in the bud. Love that ending. Did not see that coming. So much of that episode, I was like, you're ready to just, whoever's on this station, it's like they're villains. Fuck them, kill them, right? They're monsters. And then you find like these really weird scientist guys all geared in. You're like, what's, and then So you find that, and then you find this guy who's like making a lot of sense. You're like, all right, I mean, you shouldn't have done that, but aliens, the first shot can repurpose. All right, we do have a lot to learn about. Boom! Nope, you're not thinking about that. You're not considering anything. Bam, bam, bam. This show never disappoints. Never disappoints. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me tonight. That's episode 2. Thank you so much for watching me, for checking me out, checking out all the content. Please press the like button if you haven't already. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Got lots of new fun content coming out. Can't wait for you guys to meet Wendell. You kind of already have, but keep an eye out for the new show coming out.
It's Wendell.
That'll be fun. More Expanse content, obviously. The rest of season 2, 3, 4. And me and Lindsay are going to cover every single episode of season 5 as it comes out. So stay tuned. The Expanse.